reckoning is coming. No genocide was so documented as it happened. No genocide was so confessed to as it happened. Israeli leaders told the world that they saw the Palestinian people as the enemy, as human animals. They told the world they'd wipe Gaza from the face of the earth and build what they called a city of tents. They told the world they would cut off the essentials of life. All of this was confessed to from day one. Normally, when a state commits a terrible crime, they go to great lengths to cover it up, and yet in this case, the opposite happened. And we may ask ourselves, why? Why self-incriminate yourself so openly, so flagrantly? And the answer is simple: because Israeli leaders knew from the beginning they had total impunity granted to them by our political elites and my colleagues in the Western media who facilitated this genocide from day one. Israeli leaders knew that they could exterminate and obliterate with abandon. They knew they could destroy hospitals, schools, they could murder frightened children, and they could bury screaming babies in rubble. They could torture, they could rape, and they could starve an entire people and get away with it, and my goodness were they correct. Now after 21 months of daily genocidal depravity, as images of emaciated Palestinians become impossible to suppress, a pandemic of hand-wringing has broken out amongst my colleagues in the Western media and in the corridors of power. But it is not driven by any desire to save the Palestinian people from the apocalyptic ruin imposed upon them by the West. It is driven by a desperation to save reputations, and indeed to preserve the freedom of the politicians who armed and facilitated this genocide, because mark my words, one day they will be hauled before the courts, and one day they will be sent to prison for war crimes and complicity in genocide. A reckoning is coming. A reckoning is coming. In October 2023, I wrote a column with these following words. I wrote, as the calamity of Israel's onslaught against Gaza becomes apparent, those who cheered it on will panic about reputational damage and plead their earlier ignorance. Do not let them get away with it this time. And friends, we're not going to let them get away with it, because a reckoning is coming. A reckoning is coming. And Today, the architects of genocide have turned the world on its head. They have built a world where 83-year-old retired vicars called Sue are considered by the law dangerous terrorists who are a menace to the society because they oppose extermination of children, whilst at the same time politicians who armed the mass extermination of tens of thousands of civilians are treated as respectable statesmen. But friends, you can only turn reality on its head for so long. And those who are opponents of genocide, who end up being jailed, they will know, as they stare at their prison ceilings, they will have the comfort of knowing that they stood against a genocide, whilst those in the future, because the tables will be turned. One day, we will have a government that doesn't need to draw up new laws to prescribe people who oppose genocide. They will simply enforce the existing law, the Genocide Convention of 1948, which criminalizes complicity in genocide and imposes a legal obligation on a government to prevent genocide. And friends, they will be dragged away and they will be hauled before the courts. And when they are staring at prison ceilings, they will have no such comfort. All they will have is the screams of Palestinian children to torture them for the rest of their lives. Friends, accountability is coming. Justice will come. Time is running out for the complicit. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. top. They will go to prison. We will get justice. Keep fighting. Never get up. And to the Palestinian people, in your darkest moments, we say this to you. We will never, never give up on you. Free Palestine.